We met in college, hit it off instantly, and everything seemed perfect, or so I thought. At first, Lisa was amazing. She was funny, smart, and we shared so many interests. Our friends loved her, and I couldn't imagine my life without her. But about a year ago, I started noticing little things. She became distant, always on her phone, and there was this constant tension whenever we were around each other. I brushed it off, thinking work stress or just the natural ebb and flow of a relationship. Our best friend, Mike, has been my closest guy since high school. We've been through everything together, moving across states, breaking up, getting back together, you name it. Mike was practically family. But recently, I sensed something was off between them too. They'd have these inside jokes, late-night hangouts, and Lisa was always vague about where she was when they were together. I confronted her a few times, but Lisa is no saint. She's been lying a lot lately, little lies about where she's been, who she's with. Every time I tried to dig deeper, she'd shut me down, accuse me of being paranoid, or worse, call me insecure. It was exhausting. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but the nagging feeling that something was terribly wrong wouldn't go away. Things came to a head last Christmas. I was busy with work, trying to get a big project off the ground, and Lisa was supposed to handle the holiday plans. I remember hearing some strange noises coming from the garage one night and decided to check it out. What I saw next, well, I can't even begin to describe it without losing it. So, it's Christmas Eve, December 24, 2024. I'm buried in work, deadlines looming, stress levels through the roof. Lisa was supposed to handle all the holiday stuff, but between her secretive behavior and my mounting workload, I barely noticed anything out of the ordinary. That night, around 2 a.m., I hear some weird noises coming from the garage. At first, I think it's just the wind or maybe the neighbor's kids messing around. But curiosity got the better of me. I decide to check it out, half expecting to find some stray decorations or maybe Mike, who sometimes helps out with odd jobs. I grab a flashlight and tiptoe downstairs, trying to be as quiet as possible. As I approach the garage door, the sounds become clearer, muffled laughter, the unmistakable jingle of bells, and something else, whispers. My heart starts pounding, and I hesitate for a split second before pushing the door open. What I see next is something straight out of a nightmare. There's Mike, my best friend of 10 years, dressed in a full Santa suit. Not just any Santa suit, but the kind you'd see at the mall, complete with a fake beard, red hat, and that oversized belly. And there's Lisa, wearing a revealing elf costume that leaves little to the imagination. They're tangled up on top of my prized vintage sleigh, which I've been restoring for years, laughing and clearly having a good time. My first instinct is to yell, but the surprise roots me to the spot. Mike spots me instantly, his face morphing from surprise to guilt in a split second. Lisa, on the other hand, just bursts out laughing, clearly not expecting me to catch them in the act. "Jake! Oh man, you scared the crap out of us," Mike stammers, trying to scramble up off the sleigh. Lisa just smirks, leaning back and crossing her arms. Looks like someone's finally noticed our little holiday fun. I'm speechless for a moment, processing what I'm seeing. Mike and Lisa together? In costumes? It's bizarre, but there's no denying the evidence right in front of me. My mind races. How long has this been going on? Why Santa and an elf? It's humiliating and infuriating all at once. Finally, I find my voice. What the hell is going on here? Lisa bursts out laughing again, the sound echoing in the garage. "Oh, come on, Jake. It's not like you haven't seen us together before. Don't give me that crap, Lisa. How long has this been happening?" I demand, my anger boiling over. Mike tries to interject, but Lisa cuts him off. "Let him speak, Mike. You've got nothing to add, do you?" I stare at both of them, feeling a mix of betrayal, rage, and disbelief. This was supposed to be our Christmas, the one where everything was supposed to be perfect. Instead, I'm caught witnessing the ultimate betrayal by the two people I trusted most. Before I can say anything else, Mike grabs his phone and starts typing furiously. "I need to go," he mutters, clearly regretting getting caught. As he rushes out the garage, Lisa finally starts to get serious. "Look, Jake, it's not what you think. We were just having some fun, you know? It's not like we're serious or anything." Fun? After everything we've been through together? The audacity of her to minimize this is infuriating. I feel like the rug has been pulled out from under me, and I'm not sure how to process the whirlwind of emotions surging through me. I turn and slam the garage door shut, leaning against it as the reality of the situation sinks in. My wife and my best friend, two pillars of my life, have been lying to me, deceiving me in the worst possible way. After the initial shock of seeing Lisa and Mike tangled up in my garage, all I could feel was a mix of rage and confusion. But emotions aside, I knew I had to get some answers. So, I took a deep breath and decided to confront them right there and then. "Alright, enough games. I need explanations," I said, my voice trembling more with anger than fear. Lisa just laughed, but there was something cold in her eyes now. "Oh, Jake, you're really taking this seriously, aren't you?" "Seriously?" "Seriously, you two are having sex in my garage dressed as Santa and an elf. How do you even start to explain that?" I couldn't keep the bitterness out of my voice. Mike, who had been fumbling with his phone, finally put it down and tried to interject. "Jake, man, it's not what it looks like. We can explain." "Spare me the excuses, Mike. Lisa, you've been lying to me for months. What the hell is going on?" I turned my frustration towards her, demanding honesty. Lisa sighed dramatically, rolling her eyes. "Jake, it's not like that. We were just having some fun. You're blowing this way out of proportion." "Fun? Is that what you call it? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you two have been hooking up behind my back for a while," I shot back, my fists clenching at my sides. She smirked, clearly enjoying the upper hand. "Maybe we just needed a little excitement. You know how boring things have been lately." "Boring? Is that how you see our marriage?" I couldn't believe the audacity. "You've been distant, secretive, and now I find out you're cheating with my best friend?" Mike shifted uncomfortably, trying to salvage the situation. "Jake, please, let's not do this here. We can talk about it calmly." "No, there's nothing calm about this," I snapped. "You two have been lying to me, betraying my trust. How long has this been going on?" Lisa glanced at Mike, who looked like he wanted to speak but was clearly struggling with what to say. "It's not like a long-term thing, Jake. It was just a few times when we were all hanging out. It didn't mean anything." "Just a few times?" I couldn't hide the incredulity in my voice. "How is that possible? You're my wife and my best friend. This isn't just some casual fling, it's a slap in the face." She shrugged, almost nonchalant. "Maybe you're too controlling, too needy. Maybe we just needed some space." "Controlling? Needy? Those are the excuses you throw around because you can't face the truth," I shot back, feeling the anger boil over. "You wanted space, so you cheated with my best friend. How does that make sense?" Mike finally spoke up, his voice shaky. "Jake, listen, it wasn't planned. Things just happened. We didn't mean for it to go this far." I felt a surge of betrayal that was almost physical. "Not planned? So you just happened to find yourselves in costumes, in my garage, and decide to have sex? That's your explanation?" Lisa rolled her eyes again. "It's not like we were plotting it. Sometimes things just happen, and we decided to go with it." I took a step back, trying to process everything. "You two have shattered everything we built together. How am I supposed to trust either of you now? Silence hung heavy in the garage as the weight of her words settled in. Mike looked like he wanted to defend himself more, but Lisa gave him a stern look that said, "Don't." Finally, Lisa spoke, her tone dripping with disdain. "Maybe this is what's best for all of us. Maybe it's time you moved on, Jake." Move on? After everything? I couldn't fathom how she could be so cold. You think this is the answer? To just throw away 5 years of marriage because you got bored? She smirked again, shaking her head. Sometimes relationships just reach their natural end. Maybe you need to figure out why you couldn't keep us together. I felt like I was spinning out of control. This wasn't just about cheating anymore, it was about the complete disintegration of everything I thought was solid. I looked at both of them, feeling utterly betrayed and lost. With a heavy heart and a mind racing with 1,000 thoughts, I turned and left the garage, slamming the door behind me. The night air felt cold against my skin as I stood there, trying to grasp the magnitude of what had just happened. My wife and my best friend, how did it come to this? I needed time to think, to process the betrayal, and figure out my next move. After that intense confrontation in the garage, I thought things couldn't get any worse. Boy, was I wrong. I spent the next few hours in a daze, trying to process everything that had just happened. My mind was racing with questions and emotions, anger, betrayal, sadness, and a deep sense of loss. I needed some space to think, so I decided to take a walk to clear my head. It's late, and the streets were quiet, except for the occasional car passing by. The chilly January air did nothing to cool the fire burning inside me. As I walked aimlessly, I couldn't shake the image of Lisa and Mike in those ridiculous costumes. It wasn't just the act of cheating that stung, it was the sheer absurdity of it all. Santa and an elf? Really? It felt like something out of a twisted holiday movie, but this was my life. I pulled out my phone, contemplating calling someone for support, but who could I trust? I mean, Mike was my best friend. Betrayal by a friend cuts deeper than most. The thought made my stomach churn. I decided against it and kept walking, trying to focus on anything but the nightmare unfolding in my own home. Unexpectedly, my phone buzzed with a message notification. It was from Sarah, a coworker I wasn't particularly close to but always found friendly. I hesitated for a moment before opening it. "Hey Jake, heard you've been having a rough time. If you need to talk, I'm here." I stared at the screen, surprised by her message. We'd exchanged a few pleasantries here and there, but nothing beyond that. Still, I appreciated the gesture. Maybe talking to someone impartial could help. I decided to reply. "Thanks, Sarah. I might take you up on that." Feeling a bit lighter, I continued my walk, eventually making my way to a nearby park. The park was mostly empty, with only a few people scattered about, enjoying the crisp winter night. I found a bench and sat down, pulling my jacket tighter around me. Just as I was beginning to calm down, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a group message from our friend circle. My heart sank as I saw the names, Lisa, Mike, and a few others. Mike, "Hey everyone. Ready for the big reveal tonight?" Lisa, "Can't wait to see all your reactions. It's going to be epic." Jake, "Not sure what you're talking about." Tom, "Trust me, Jake, you don't want to miss this." I stared at the screen in disbelief. What had I just walked into? It seemed like Lisa and Mike were planning some sort of event or prank, oblivious to the fact that I already knew about their antics. My blood boiled at the thought of them laughing about this behind my back. As if on cue, my phone buzzed again with a call from Mike. My hand shook as I answered. "Jake, man, listen, we need to talk," Mike said, his voice sounding strained. "Yeah, we do," I replied through gritted teeth. "But not here. Let's meet up." We agreed to meet the next morning at our favorite coffee shop, a place that now felt tainted by betrayal. The next day arrived, and I found myself sitting across from Mike, who looked genuinely remorseful. Before I could even start, he spoke up. "Jake, I'm sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. It just got out of hand." "Get out of hand? You and Lisa? With me?" My voice cracked with emotion. Mike sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "I know it sounds bad, but things were complicated. Lisa was unhappy, and I didn't know how to help." "Complicated? We were friends. You should have come to me," I shot back, feeling the anger surge again. Before Mike could respond, my phone buzzed with another message. It was from Lisa. "Lisa, can't wait to see you both at the office party tonight. It's going to be a blast." My frustration hit a new high. Not only had they betrayed me, but they were also blatantly flaunting it in front of everyone else. I couldn't believe the nerve. "Why are you still trying to pretend like everything's fine?" I demanded. "How could you both do this to me?" Mike looked down, clearly struggling with his words. "I don't have all the answers, Jake. I just know that things have changed." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed one last time with a notification from an unknown number. Curious and irritated, I opened it to find a photo of Lisa and Mike from the night before, laughing together at another holiday gathering, this time without the costumes. It was clear they were continuing their affair, and they wanted everyone to see it. I felt a mix of rage and despair. How could they be so callous? I stood up abruptly, leaving Mike to stare after me in confusion and hurt. As I walked out of the coffee shop, I realized that the fallout was only just beginning. This wasn't just a one-time thing, it was a web of lies and deceit that I had to untangle. My trust had been shattered, and I wasn't sure if I could ever rebuild it. After storming out of the coffee shop, I felt like I was in a daze. The cold January air did little to calm the storm raging inside me. As I walked back home, my mind was racing. How could Lisa and Mike be so blatant about their betrayal? And why were they flaunting it in front of everyone? When I finally got home, I needed some space to think. I decided to grab a beer and drown my sorrows on the couch. Just as I was settling in, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from Sarah. "Sarah, hey Jake, I'm really sorry about what you're going through. If you need anything, let me know." I stared at the message for a moment, surprised by her genuine concern. We hadn't been close, but her reaching out felt like a lifeline. Before I could respond, another message popped up, this one from Tom. "Tom, dude, heard about the mess with Lisa and Mike. If you need to talk, I'm here." I hesitated. Reaching out to friends meant admitting how shattered I was, but isolation wasn't an option. I decided to reply. "Jake, thanks, Tom. Might take you up on that." Feeling a bit less alone, I took another sip of my beer. Just then, my phone buzzed with a notification from an unknown number. Curiosity piqued, I opened it to find a video file labeled Proof. Heart pounding, I played the video. It was footage from a security camera I'd forgotten was active in the garage for my sleigh restoration project. The video showed Lisa and Mike meeting up several times over the past few months, not just for holiday antics but for intimate moments. They were more than just having fun, they were deeply involved. My stomach turned. This wasn't just a one-time thing, it was an ongoing affair. And to make matters worse, I saw Lisa lying to Mike about my suspicions, manipulating him to keep the affair going. Feeling a mix of rage and despair, I deleted the video and took a deep breath. Just when I thought things couldn't get any more complicated, my phone buzzed again. It was Sarah. "Sarah, want to grab dinner and talk?" I agreed, figuring that having someone impartial to talk to might help. A few hours later, I met Sarah at a quiet diner downtown. She was sincere, listening intently as I poured out everything. I can't believe Lisa did this, I said, feeling the weight of my emotions. And with Mike, of all people. Sarah nodded sympathetically. You deserve better, Jake. It's not your fault. As we talked, something unexpected happened. Sarah revealed that she had known about the tension between Lisa and me for a while. She had noticed the late-night meetings between Lisa and Mike and suspected something was up but didn't want to intrude. I saw them together a few times, she admitted. I wasn't sure what to do, so I kept quiet. I felt a surge of gratitude towards her honesty. Maybe there were allies I didn't know I had. But just as things seemed to be getting a bit better, my phone buzzed once more with a new message from an unknown number. This time, it was a link to a private Facebook group titled Holiday Shenanigans 2024. Curiosity getting the better of me, I clicked the link. Inside, I found countless photos and videos of Lisa and Mike at various holiday events, Christmas parties, Halloween gatherings, even New Year's Eve celebrations, all filled with laughter, kisses, and more. It was clear they had been openly cheating for months, using holiday costumes as their cover. But here's where things took an even stranger turn. One of the photos included another person I didn't recognize, a woman named Amanda, smiling brightly next to Lisa and Mike. When I confronted Sarah about it during our dinner, she looked uneasy. Amanda? I've heard that name before, Sarah said cautiously. She's Mike's sister. I didn't realize she was involved in all this. My mind raced. If Mike's sister was aware, maybe she was part of their scheme? Or perhaps she was an unwitting pawn. The plot was thickening, and I felt like I was trapped in a real-life soap opera. Just as I was trying to piece everything together, my phone buzzed again with a call from Mike. I hesitated but answered, my voice strained. Jake, we need to talk, Mike said, his tone different, softer, almost pleading. I agreed to meet him the next day, hoping to get some closure. Little did I know, this meeting would uncover secrets that would turn my world upside down even further. As I left the diner, I couldn't help but feel that the nightmare was far from over. After that intense dinner with Sarah, I felt a bit more grounded, but my phone just wouldn't give me a break. When Mike called to set up a meeting, I wasn't sure if I could handle any more surprises, but I needed answers. So, I agreed to meet him the next day at our favorite coffee shop. The morning sun was barely up when I headed to the cafe, my mind still reeling from the previous night's revelations. As I walked in, I scanned the room for Mike. He was already there, looking uncharacteristically nervous. We ordered our usual, black coffee for him, a chai latte for me, and sat down in a secluded corner. Jake, Mike began, rubbing the back of his neck. I know this is a lot to take in. I never wanted it to go this far. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my emotions in check. Then why, Mike? Why cheat on me with Lisa? He sighed heavily. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Lisa and I started talking about our marriages, about how we both felt stuck and unappreciated. One thing led to another, and it just happened. I leaned back, frustration boiling inside me. So, you're saying our marriages are all you care about? What about our friendship? What about trust? Mike looked genuinely remorseful. I screwed up, Jake. I never meant to hurt you. But there's more to this. Lisa wasn't just using me for some fling. Before he could continue, my phone buzzed again. It was another message from the unknown number, but this time it had more context. Unknown number, meet me tonight at the old barn on Maple Street. I have information you need. Curiosity piqued, I showed the message to Mike. His eyes widened. I don't know who that is, but I have a feeling Amanda is involved. Amanda, Mike's sister, had been popping up in their holiday shenanigans. I hadn't thought much of it until now. Maybe she knew more than she let on. Why don't we go together? I suggested. If Amanda is involved, maybe she can explain what's really going on. Mike hesitated but nodded. All right, but we need to be careful. I don't know what we're walking into. That evening, Mike and I made our way to the old barn on Maple Street. It was a rundown structure, abandoned for years, surrounded by overgrown weeds and the eerie sounds of nighttime critters. My heart pounded as we approached, the moon casting long shadows across the property. We pushed open the creaky barn door and stepped inside. The interior was dimly lit by a single hanging bulb, swaying slightly with each gust of wind. In the center stood Amanda, looking surprisingly calm given the circumstances. "Jake, Mike," she greeted us, her voice steady. "Thanks for coming." I glanced between Mike and Amanda, confusion clouding my features. "What is all this? What do you want from us?" Amanda took a deep breath. "I know about the affair. And I know why it happened. There are things you both need to understand." Mike looked at me apologetically. "Amanda helped Lisa and me see a way out of our unhappy marriages. She's been orchestrating this for a while." I felt a surge of anger. "Orchestrating? Are you saying this was all some plan?" Amanda nodded. "Not a plan, exactly. More like a push. Both of your marriages were falling apart. Lisa with you, and Mike with his own issues. We all wanted something different." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So, you encouraged them to cheat? To destroy our marriages?" Amanda shook her head. "No, it's not that simple. Lisa felt trapped, and Mike felt neglected. We thought that by pushing them apart, they'd realize what they truly wanted. But things spiraled out of control." I took a step back, processing her words. "You mean, you wanted us to get divorced?" She looked pained. "We believed it was the best for everyone. Sometimes, stepping away is the only way to find happiness. But I see now that it caused more pain than we anticipated." Mike interjected, "Amanda didn't intend for Lisa and me to go this far. It was supposed to be a catalyst, not a full-blown affair." I felt a mix of emotions, betrayal not just from Lisa and Mike, but from Amanda too. "So, what now? What do you want me to do?" Amanda sighed. "I wanted to help you both see the truth about your marriages. If anything, you need to figure out what you really want. Maybe this is a wake-up call for all of us." Before I could respond, the barn door slammed shut, and the lights flickered off. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for my phone to use as a flashlight. The room plunged into darkness, broken only by the faint glow of the bulb above. "What's going on?" I demanded, my voice echoing in the confined space. Suddenly, figures emerged from the shadows, friends and acquaintances from our social circle, all part of Amanda's plan. It turned out Amanda had been manipulating not just Lisa and Mike, but several others, believing that causing upheaval would ultimately lead everyone to pursue their true happiness. I felt utterly betrayed. This wasn't just about my marriage anymore, it was about a larger scheme orchestrated by someone I thought was innocent. The realization that Amanda had gone to such lengths to meddle in our lives left me speechless. As the group explained their misguided intentions, I couldn't help but feel a sense of emptiness. The trust one had in my closest friends was shattered, and the lines between right and wrong had become blurred. Finally, the lights came back on, and Amanda stepped forward. "I'm sorry, Jake. I see now that this was a mistake. We just wanted everyone to be happy." I looked around at the faces of those I once considered friends, now revealing their true colors through this elaborate deception. Happy? By ruining our lives? Amanda's eyes welled up with tears. "I never meant for it to get this out of hand. Please, forgive me." But forgiveness wasn't something I could offer right then. The night had exposed a tangled web of lies, manipulation, and betrayal that I wasn't sure how to navigate. As Mike and I left the barn, the weight of everything pressed down on me. I needed to find a way to rebuild my life, to understand what went wrong, and to figure out how to move forward from this chaos. After that night at the barn, Mike and I were both left reeling. Amanda's manipulation had exposed a side of our friend circle I never knew existed. It felt like the ground had been pulled out from under me, leaving me adrift in a sea of betrayal and confusion. As I tried to process everything, one thing became painfully clear: I needed to confront Lisa one final time. A few days passed, each one dragging on interminably. I focused on my work, trying to bury myself in projects and deadlines, but my mind kept drifting back to the chaos in my personal life. The evidence was overwhelming: texts, photos, videos, all pointing to the same horrifying truth. Lisa wasn't just a liar, she was actively sabotaging our marriage with the help of my best friend and, it turns out, his sister. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed closure. I decided to invite Lisa to dinner, hoping to have a calm conversation where I could lay everything out and hear her side. To my surprise, she agreed without hesitation, sending me a curt confirmation text: "Fine. Tonight at 7. The evening arrived, and I found myself sitting alone at our favorite restaurant, the one where we had shared so many happy memories. My stomach churned with a mix of anxiety and determination. When Lisa walked in, she looked every bit the picture of confidence and disdain I had come to associate with her lately. She slid into the seat across from me, her eyes cold and unrepentant. "Jake," she began, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Glad you could make it." I took a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves. "We need to talk, Lisa. I know everything." She raised an eyebrow, smirking. "Oh? Do you now?" I nodded, pulling out my phone to show her the messages, photos, and videos that had unraveled the lies she had spun for months. "This ends now. I know about you and Mike, all of it." Her smirk faltered for a split second before she regained her composure. "You think showing you the evidence changes anything? It doesn't. I'm done with this marriage, Jake. I've been waiting for you to realize that." My anger flared. "Done? After everything? After pretending everything was fine while you were screwing me over?" She leaned back, crossing her arms. "Maybe you weren't paying enough attention. Maybe I just needed to find my own happiness, even if it meant tearing yours down in the process." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a call from Amanda. I glanced at the screen, then back at Lisa, whose expression had hardened. "Excuse me for a moment," I said, answering the call. "Jake, I need you to come to the office right away." Amanda's voice was urgent. "It's important." Confusion and frustration bubbled inside me. "What now, Amanda? After everything you've done?" "There's something you need to see," she replied. "Please, just come." I hung up, glaring at Lisa. What the hell is going on? Why are you still in contact with her? Lisa shrugged, indifferent. "She's Mike's sister. You don't have to involve her in your little vendetta." I stood up, feeling the weight of the situation crushing me. "Fine. If you're so done, then so am I." As I walked out of the restaurant, my phone buzzed again. Reluctantly, I checked the message from Amanda. "Amanda, meet me at the office. It's about Lisa and Mike. You need to know the truth." My curiosity piqued despite my anger. What more could Amanda possibly reveal? Reluctantly, I headed to my workplace, the office of my job now feeling like another battleground in this war of deceit. When I arrived, the building was unusually empty for a Friday evening. I made my way to Amanda's office, my heart pounding with a mix of dread and anticipation. She was waiting for me, her expression serious and apologetic. "Jake, thank you for coming," she began. "There's something you need to understand about all of this." I crossed my arms, not hiding my skepticism. "I'm all ears, but make it quick." I've got nothing left to lose. Amanda took a deep breath. Lisa and Mike weren't just acting on their own. There's more to their actions, something neither of them have fully disclosed yet. My frustration was palpable. What are you talking about? They already ruined my life. She shook her head. It's not just about the affair. There's something else, something that ties into why they did what they did. Before she could elaborate, the office door swung open, and Mike walked in, looking every bit as guilty and remorseful as I felt. Amanda, I thought you'd want to be here. I stared at him, a mix of anger and curiosity swirling inside me. What is this, Amanda? What are you trying to pull here? Amanda turned to face me, her eyes pleading. Jake, please listen. There's more to this story. Lisa wasn't the only one feeling trapped in her marriage. Mike was dealing with his own issues, and Amanda saw an opportunity to help both of us find happiness. It wasn't supposed to get this far. I felt a surge of disbelief. So, you orchestrated this entire affair? To force us to leave our marriages? Mike stepped forward, trying to explain. Jake, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Amanda thought that by pushing Lisa and me apart, it would help us both move on and find what we really wanted. But things escalated, and I lost control. My mind was reeling. The idea that Amanda had manipulated both of us into infidelity felt like a slap in the face. You mean, all of this, every lie, every secret meeting, it was all part of some twisted plan? Amanda nodded slowly. Yes. I saw how unhappy Lisa and Mike were, and I thought this would be the catalyst they needed to make a change. I never intended for it to destroy lives. Anger bubbled up inside me. Destroy lives? You think ruining my marriage and betraying my trust is helping anyone? You're a manipulative bitch, Amanda. She flinched at the insult, but Mike placed a hand on her shoulder in a gesture of solidarity. Jake, please understand. We were both unhappy, and we didn't know how to fix it. Amanda thought this was the only way. I shook my head in disbelief. The only way? There are other ways, therapy, honest conversations. You all chose deception and betrayal instead. Amanda looked down, ashamed. I see now that I was wrong. I never meant for it to come to this. I just wanted everyone to find happiness. I took a step back, feeling a mix of pity and rage. Well, congratulations. You failed miserably. Before I could say anything else, the office phone rang, echoing ominously through the silent space. Amanda hesitated before answering, then quickly glanced at me and Mike. I have to take this. It's urgent. She answered the call, her face paling. Yes? What? I'll be right there. Without another word, Amanda hung up and rushed out of the office, leaving Mike and me standing there in stunned silence. My phone buzzed again, this time with a new message from the unknown number. Unknown number, meet me at the park in 30 minutes. I have something you need to see. My frustration reached its peak. This just keeps getting better and better. What now? Mike looked at me sympathetically. I'm sorry, Jake. I never meant for any of this to happen. I sighed, feeling utterly defeated. Just leave me alone, Mike. I need to figure this out on my own. But something compelled me to follow the message. Reluctantly, I made my way to the nearby park, the night air thick with tension. When I arrived, I saw a figure standing beneath a street lamp, waiting for me. As I approached, the figure stepped forward, revealing themselves to be none other than Tom, one of our mutual friends who had remained silent throughout the entire ordeal. Jake, Tom began, his voice serious. There's something you need to know about Amanda. My eyes narrowed. What are you talking about? What does she want now? Tom glanced around nervously before leaning in. Amanda isn't acting alone. There are others, people in our circle who were part of her plan. She's been manipulating more than just Lisa and Mike. She's been orchestrating chaos in multiple marriages, believing it's for the greater good. I felt a chill run down my spine. Why? What's her endgame? Tom shook his head. I don't know all the details, but I know she's been involved in similar schemes with other couples. It's like she has this warped sense of helping people by tearing down their lives first. My mind raced, trying to comprehend the scope of Amanda's manipulation. Why are you telling me this? He looked me in the eyes, a mixture of fear and determination in his gaze. Because she's not done yet. I saw her meeting with another couple last week, and I fear she's targeting more people. We need to stop her before she ruins more lives. I took a deep breath, feeling a newfound resolve amidst the chaos. All right, Tom. What do you need me to do? Before he could answer, my phone buzzed once more. This time, it was a call from Amanda. Amanda, Jake, we need to talk. Please come back. I glanced at Tom, who looked equally conflicted. I think I've heard enough for one night, I muttered, starting to walk away. But Tom grabbed my arm, pulling me closer. Don't answer it. She's up to something, and you need to stay away. I hesitated, torn between confronting her again and heeding Tom's warning. In that moment, I realized just how deep this rabbit hole went and how much more was at stake. As I turned to leave, I made a silent vow: I would uncover the full extent of Amanda's schemes and protect anyone else from falling victim to her manipulations. But first, I needed to find out what she was planning next, and stop her before it was too late. After meeting with Tom in the park and learning about the broader scope of Amanda's manipulations, I knew things were reaching a boiling point. Tom and I decided we needed to act quickly to prevent Amanda from wrecking more lives. It wasn't just about me anymore, it was about stopping someone who seemed determined to dismantle the lives of everyone around her. That evening, Tom and I devised a plan. We needed concrete evidence of Amanda's schemes to expose her without getting entangled in her web of lies. We decided to stake out her office, hoping to catch her in the act of manipulating another relationship. It felt risky, but I was beyond scared, I was resolute. We arrived at my workplace just before dusk, hiding in the shadows near Amanda's office. As the minutes ticked by, my anxiety grew. Finally, around 8 p.m., Amanda stepped out of her office, looking around cautiously before heading towards the parking garage. Tom and I exchanged a glance and followed her discreetly. Amanda entered her car and drove to a nearby upscale restaurant, a place known for its exclusive couples therapy sessions. My heart raced. This had to be where she was orchestrating her latest chaos. We parked a few blocks away and watched as she met with a couple I didn't recognize. They greeted each other warmly, but there was something off about the way Amanda guided their conversation. Curiosity piqued, we decided to approach the restaurant. Slipping inside unnoticed, we found a secluded table where Amanda was deep in conversation with the new couple. I couldn't hear everything, but snippets were clear enough. So, you've both been feeling disconnected, Amanda was saying. Sometimes, pushing each other away can lead to a deeper understanding of what you truly want. The logic was twisted but unmistakably similar to what she had done with Lisa and Mike. We needed undeniable proof, so I discreetly took photos of the interaction. As we prepared to leave, Amanda glanced our way, her eyes narrowing suspiciously. Panic surged through me. Had she noticed us? We made a swift exit and retreated to a nearby alley to review the photos. They were exactly what we needed, evidence of Amanda actively sabotaging another relationship. This time, though, we had the proof to bring her down. The next morning, armed with the photos and a clear plan, Tom and I went to confront Amanda. We couldn't do it alone, so we enlisted the help of Sarah and a few other trusted co-workers who had also fallen victim to Amanda's schemes. We met at a neutral location, a quiet cafe where we could strategize without interruptions. Everyone shared their stories, and the weight of collective betrayal was almost too much to bear. But there was a sense of unity now, a determination to put an end to Amanda's manipulations. Our plan was simple: present the evidence to the company's HR department and ensure Amanda was held accountable for her actions. We knew it wouldn't be easy. Amanda was smart and had covered her tracks well. But with multiple testimonies and undeniable proof, we stood a fighting chance. When we presented our case to HR, there was initial disbelief. How could someone so seemingly perfect be behind such chaos? But the evidence spoke volumes. Amanda was promptly placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation. The news spread quickly, and the fallout was immediate. Friends and colleagues who had been manipulated by Amanda began to see the truth, and support poured in for those she had hurt. As for Lisa and Mike, the aftermath was messy. Confronted with the truth and the collective realization of Amanda's influence, they were forced to face the consequences of their actions. Lisa filed for divorce, and Mike, realizing the depth of his betrayal, sought therapy to understand why he had been so easily swayed. Personally, the emotional toll was immense. Trusting someone again seemed impossible, and the scars from this ordeal ran deep. But with the support of newfound allies like Sarah and Tom, I began the slow process of healing. Therapy sessions helped me navigate the maze of anger, sadness, and betrayal. I learned that forgiveness wasn't about excusing their actions but about freeing myself from the burden of resentment. Months passed, and life slowly began to normalize. Amanda was eventually terminated from her position, her reputation in shambles. Some distanced themselves, unable to comprehend how someone they once trusted could orchestrate such chaos. Others rallied around the victims, offering support and understanding. Through it all, I realized the importance of surrounding myself with genuine, trustworthy people. The ordeal had stripped away the facade of perfection in my relationships, revealing the true nature of those around me. It was a painful lesson, but one that ultimately led to personal growth and resilience. One evening, as I sat by the fireplace reflecting on everything that had happened, I felt a sense of closure. The betrayal had left its mark, but I was stronger for having endured it. I reached out to Tom and Sarah, grateful for their unwavering support, and together, we celebrated the small victories of moving forward. Looking back, it was a whirlwind of unexpected events, each one pushing me to confront my deepest fears and insecurities. But amidst the chaos, I found a path to redemption and self-discovery. Life wasn't perfect, and relationships were fragile, but I emerged with a clearer understanding of what I truly valued.